Hey guys, what's up? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about week 1 of boot camp. You had receiving week, but now you have week 1. There's 12 weeks after receiving week. So the very first day of week 1, you should be issued your M16. So you'll march from the squad bay to the weapons armory, where they have all the M16s in there. And they just stand outside, wait, and then you get your rifle and you go back. And when you get your rifle, you think, oh man, this is badass, we actually have guns now. But then you won't be thinking that later on, because you'll be marched around on the parade deck a bunch of times, and they're going to teach you the 1 point of black and take a drink and all that sort of stuff, and how to properly march with your rifle. And you're going to think, oh, sucks, because your forearm's going to be really tired from holding the buttstock in your hand, and it's going to hurt. But I think week 1 is actually, you actually start drilling in receiving week. So I think starting the very first day you get picked up, or maybe the day after that day. So like the first Saturday of boot camp, you start drilling. Because I remember we knew how to drill just a little bit when we went to go pick up our weapons. So other than that, in week 1, you'll learn, you'll get your first introduction to McMap. They'll teach you probably just some of the basic crap, like the rear hand punch or the jab or whatnot. And then you do something else some other day, and then like that Thursday you get introductory to first aid. So they'll have you in a classroom with like 4 different dummies in the classroom, and then one of them's going to be open chest wound, or sunken chest wound, chemical burn, and then you're going to have open fracture and something else. But you just learn how to do first aid, which you need to pay really, really close attention to, because some guys don't get it down that well. And you get tested on that for the T55. And the T55 test you have to pass to graduate. It's one of the golden tickets hub. If you don't pass T55 test, you don't get to graduate. And I'll be talking more about the T55 test in one of my later videos, and I'll explain all of it then. Other than that, for the first week, learn some of the Marine Corps history. So you'll go and get classes, sit down, and I don't remember much other than that. So how classes work is, well, you only have the class as describing, the one with the dummies, you only have that a couple times just for first aid. But most of your classes, they're going to be inside these big rooms. So you'll march from your squad bay to like these theaters that they have, and usually you'll go inside these theaters, and then they'll rush you in, columns of 2s, you'll make a hasty stack of your weapons outside, then they'll rush you in the classrooms, columns of 2s, and there's just like a bunch of seats in there, like a college classroom. That's what it is. It's like a university classroom is what it is. I think the lighting is better right there. Yeah, lighting is better right there. And then you'll get a few classes in this open auditorium they have. It's just a class. It's like a big ass room that only has 3 tables, and the tables are super long, but not all the platoons. They don't have a seat for every person in the platoon, so some people have to sit on the ground, which sucks. But other than that, I think that's it. I think that Friday of first week they have you do your 2-mile run, which is pretty easy. It's just a run around this course they have in San Diego. And after that, you'll do circuit training. So they'll have you do like squats, and then they have you run somewhere else, do mountain climbers, run somewhere else, do sprints, run to another station, do bicycles, run to another station, do like these sprint, then backward sprint, and then karaoke. Like there, it's like a football workout. And then sprint to another station, and then you do like single leg Romanian deadlifts with ammo cans, and then you sprint to another station and do push-ups or something. But that's it for that 2-mile run. Make sure you show up to boot camp in shape. There was one guy. Okay, so on Black Friday, which is the first Friday of the Friday of receiving week, we ran the IST. I don't know if I talked about this or not, but one guy. So we ran midway point and back. Then one guy eventually stops running. He just stops running and he walks because I guess it's too hard for him. He just didn't show up in shape, I guess. And I finished in like 11:55 because I wasn't running that much before boot camp. And then this guy, he finishes in 12:59, or he finishes in like 13:29. And then the cutoff, like the max amount you could get, is 13 minutes or 13 minutes 30 seconds. So he barely made the IST by 1 second. So that sucked for him. But try to work out as much as you can before boot camp. For me, I got a better run time. Well, my 3-mile was the fastest I'd ever run in my life. So that was good. And my crunches went up by 20 crunches in boot camp, but it wasn't the most I've ever done in my life. I didn't work out as much as I should have before boot camp. I didn't work out as much as I like to. I wish I would have done it more. That way I could have gone in with over 100 crunches already. And my pull-ups, same with pull-ups. I think my pull-ups were at 13 when I got there, and then I got to 16 at one point, but then I left with 15 pull-ups. And the most I ever done was 16 pull-ups before I went to boot camp. It's because they don't give you a whole lot of time to work out in boot camp. You think in boot camp you would be PTing, 2 hours a day, every single day or something like that, something crazy like that, but you actually don't, because they have to make so much time for everything else, like all your classes. You have a shit ton of classes in boot camp, cleaning your weapons, different shit you do in the house, which is a squad bay. It's you call it your house because it's where you go to sleep at night and shit, and just go live basically. And just so much other stuff, uniforms, whatever. So, but whenever we work out hard. We go as hard as we can. So you still do get into better shape than you were, and you will leave in better shape than you've ever been before, because you have some hikes that you do, like long ass hikes, and you have the crucible and whatnot. But when you're there, make sure you work out on your own time too. I thought, just like anybody else would think, that you're going to get in better shape just by being at boot camp, which you're not. So you'll have the opportunity to do, pull-ups and like max set of pull-ups and max set of ammo can lifts every time you make a head call at night. And a head call is where you go to use the restroom, because they have you sip a full canteen every single night before you hit the racks. The racks are the beds they have there. And they'll have you sip a full canteen, so everybody will wake up at some point in the night or a couple times in the night with a full bladder, and then you'll go take a piss. But make sure you do your full set of pull-ups and you try as hard as you can, so you can get your pull-ups up and you'll have a better score for the PFTs. You'll have your initial PFT and final PFT, and make sure you do that max up ammo can lift so you can get a better score in your CFT. And then when you're in your rack at night, some people will do them on the ground, the crunches, but I don't like to, because they hurt your tailbone. They hurt my tailbone, and they might hurt your spine. But I remember when we had only 1 or 2 weeks until our final PFT, I would always do a max set of crunches on when I got back in my rack after I'd used the head, and I got 20 pull-ups. 20 crunches. I increased by 20 crunches, so that was good. But if you do max set of crunches in your rack every night after you make a head call, max set of pull-ups and ammo can lifts, you are going to get in a lot better shape. So that's good. And then try not to eat too much in the chow hall once you get back from Camp Pendleton the first time, because after you get back from Camp Pendleton the first time, which you'll basically be in third phase by then, they're going to serve you literally like about twice as much food. And yes, you are going to be active, but you don't need twice as much food because you will gain weight. I gained 8 pounds back. And you would think, I thought I was going to lose weight just by being at boot camp. I thought, wow, I thought like, okay, this Marine Corps boot camp, I'm going to lose a shit ton of weight and get in the best shape of my life. With effort, of course, because you have to give effort to do something, but basically without even trying. I thought just by being at boot camp, I was going to lose all this weight and get in better shape. Yeah, I got in better shape, but if you're not careful about what you eat, at the end of second phase and third phase, you will gain weight back. There's bread rolls they give you. You can get chocolate milks and stuff like that, which is what make people pack on more weight. I wasn't the only one. There's one dude who gained like 10 or 15 pounds, or there's some guys that'll gain a couple pounds or 5 pounds, whatnot. But just watch what you eat after the first time you get back from Camp Pendleton. But when you're in first and second phase, eat as much as you can, because you'll lose a bunch of weight, and you don't want to be hungry by the time you hit the rack at night. And when you're at Camp Pendleton, eat as much food as you can too, because they don't give you as much food, and you're still as active. But that's it. All right, my next video is going to be on week 2 of boot camp. See you then.